I wasn't sure if you could see the countdown.
I
I'm
can see
glad
the
that we can
countdown.
both see
Yeah.
it. We
In
got the
five,
countdown, baby.
4, 3.
And we're on. Brian, we just had an official countdown, then Brian just gave us a somewhat silent, half talking
That's what they do
countdown.
on TV. You have 5, 4, 3, and then 2 and 1 are silent, and then the shoot to you when you're live.
How do you know?
I've attended a taping of Late Show with David Letterman, and so very well versed in the world of television entertainment. Absolutely.
Seems like you were watching the real important stuff when you went to the taping. So this is welcome to the Blizzard. Seth Kushner, Brian Matroni. Appreciate everybody that subscribes to Substack. You guys really, really seem to like the Blizzard more so than anything else that I put out. So we're gonna keep doing it as long as Brian's free. I had to call Brian, I think maybe it was a few days ago, and I told him that I used him as a reference. I don't know, jobs don't use references anymore. Maybe they do for maybe higher level jobs, but everything used to work for, 3 references, and they used to actually call one of those people.
Yeah.
So I was surprised this job wanted a reference. And I was like, okay, well, you're a professional reference. So I just wanted to tell Brian that I was giving his, number out. So he was like, okay, I'm ready. So you never heard from them, did you?
No. What happened with it? It was like Kentucky, Louisville Regional Hospital, and it was some position that you couldn't even describe to me what you would be doing there. You're just like, but it pays a lot of money. And I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, what? I think I made some jokes. But no, I didn't have any reason to think anything negatively of it, but I made some jokes about, you're using me for.
It was a podcast. It was like a podcast deal, and making audio, I don't know, information for patients, and just doing content. I thought interviewing doctors and I don't know what. It was pretty detailed out. But Brian was just like, hey, you could. What you were just throwing out joke ideas for podcasts that I could do with the hospital.
Yeah, like welcome to the world. Like I forget what the joke was, but like here's our announcements of newborns and our announcements of deaths at the hospital.
Yeah. So Brian had some good ideas, and I was writing them down. So, so this company, and it was Kentucky, and it's just, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'll just blow the whole thing. It was a scam, And now I'm going to talk you through it, and we're going to see that it was a scam all along, and that I was just blinded by the money, which is what they do. So I've applied to so many different positions. I lose track. So I got this email from the Kentucky River Medical Center, and it said, we got your resume, and it's great, and we'd love to talk to you about this audio producer position, which is essentially, podcasting. And it was this hospital, and I'm like, okay, well, I used to, when I did marketing, like we did marketing for, hospitals and orthopedic institutes. So I was like, okay, they might want to do some content. I was like, that makes sense. So there was an attachment with what the job entailed. And then it said, like, at the bottom, it was like, and we pay, whatever, $55 an hour. And I was like, okay, well, that's a lot. That's a lot from where I come from. So I got pretty excited about it. So here's the first thing that I should have realized it was a scam. The first thing is that I Googled the lady, Stacy Bennett was her name. I Googled her. She didn't pop up with Kentucky River Medical Center. That's fine, okay, whatever. Maybe there's no LinkedIn that's updated. So she does an interview with me strictly through Teams. And it was only typing. There was no like FaceTiming or anything during Teams. Teams, by the way, is just an app where, businesses and stuff, they communicate on there and everything like that. And this was, I went and typed in her email address, and then it was almost like we were text messaging on that app, which
that's odd. You didn't share that with me.
Okay, that was after, I think. That was after the fact.
Oh, okay. So yeah. You gave references before you were interviewed?
No. You know what? I think during the interview, they asked for the reference. So when I called you, I wasn't even thinking about the interview I just did. I was just like, hey, in case they get in touch with you.
You were very excited, and I was excited for you. It sounded like a great opportunity to make a lot of money doing a very strange job that I didn't think a hospital would have somebody doing.
Well, all right. Well, listen, it's easy to say now, buddy, okay? Here's the thing. I know from my world there are odd places that do podcasting. That's it. The fact that a hospital was doing it wasn't throwing me off. The fact that they had so much money was a little crazy, but still, I was like, okay, maybe they just have a fuck ton of money to throw at this. So they did the interview with me strictly through Teams. They're asking me, what my strengths are, just standard interview stuff, and they go, okay, I'm gonna see if you made it on to the next round, and we're gonna set up another interview we'll have you. No, it's something like we're gonna have somebody talk to you at 9:30 tomorrow. So I was like, okay, great. I was like, this is happening fast. So a guy named, hold on, I think I still have it on my phone. The guy's name was like Rich Gordon from the Kentucky River Medical Center, like the resources director. And he was straight from India, and so he's
Rich
talking.
is a very Indian name, though, these days.
Well, I'm like, okay, so there's an Indian guy that's in charge of the Kentucky River Medical Center. I said, okay, no big deal. And he's like, every answer I tell him, Brian, he's like, great, awesome, yes. I was like, I do, podcasting, I do this, oh, great. And so at the end of the interview, he goes, I give you 9 out of 10. And I go, oh, fuck, that's good, So after that, I Googled this guy's name. Nothing pops up at all. So I go, okay, this is getting weird. So then they only would reach out to me. I would email them, and they would only reach out to me through Teams. And so once I Googled it, and then I typed it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said there's a chance it could be a scam, I sent them the email, and they were using a different email than the actual Kentucky River Medical Center uses. So ChatGPT helped me figure out it was a scam. So they sent me an offer letter. Which would have been for $114,000 a year with full benefits, working fully remote. And so the gig is that they tell you that you're going to get this job, this remote job. I guess people like me jump at it because it's an exorbitant amount of money for, something that we do. And you're so blindly excited about it that when they start asking for your information, you're going to give them your banking information immediately. So the name of the game when I found out was to get your direct deposit info. So luckily I found out it was a scam before I got the offer because, Brian, here's the thing, dude. Imagine I don't know it's a scam and I'm looking for a job and I get a job offer for $114,000 a year.
Right.
You could say I'm an idiot for believing it, but that's gonna if I went to my family and I'm like, I just got this fucking job, I'm so happy that I figured out it was a scam before. It could have been a lot worse. Like, I just can't imagine telling my wife that I had this job locked up and then having to go tell her it was a scam.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing. Your bank account being drained would be embarrassing and hurtful. And preying on people at their lowest. I mean, most people who are out there looking for a job and recently unemployed are not at the top of their game. And so, it's these scammers are the worst. They're the worst type of people. I couldn't imagine, doing that as your source of income is just ripping people off. And
the thing is though that it's so elaborate, Brian. Like they're on Teams, then they have a guy that talks to you. Everything they sent me was very official. Like there was nothing like off about any of the information that they sent me. Like everything looked very good. Then they go, you got the job, and then it's a slow play to get your information, but like it's just incredible the lengths people go to scam somebody. I just wonder if getting a job is easier than scamming. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, well, I think in India it's much more lucrative than whatever they would be doing over there. Selling street food or what have you.
Well, this guy had an Ohio area code, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, they can spoof numbers. I
right.
mean, that's the other thing. But I did just get an email from Minneapolis Memorial Gardens. They would like for you for $200,000 a year to produce a podcast for them called A Couple of Stiffs. So they're a funeral home / cemetery, and this sounds pretty legit. They just need to know immediately your social security number. Before they can interview, you got to do the background check first.
They asked me, do you have a clean background? I was like, a fucking super clean background. My background's super clean.
What is the name of your pet? What is your mother's maiden name?
What was the name of the elementary school you went to? Yeah, I mean, listen, it's when you look back on it, like you can look. Here's the thing: I figured it out before it was too
No, you
late.
did. You didn't
I
get
figured
hurt
out
by it.
halfway
Yeah.
through. It took me for a little bit. It took me a little
Well,
bit.
you
I didn't
want it
know.
to be true. You want it to be true. That's the thing, and that's part of the con is getting somebody who's going to be receptive to the con. So that's why old people are preyed on, because a lot of these old people are just happy to have somebody on the phone talking to them.
Yeah.
And so, oh, I've got somebody talking to me, and then they scare them, oh, the police are going to be coming for you, whatever it is. And I love watching, I don't know if there's a whole genre of this on YouTube. People make money off of it on social media, of these hackers, these really smart computer dudes that bust these scammers in Mumbai and all over the place there. And they'll literally go to the depths of finding out where these people live, sending packages there that like explode ink and stuff and fart spray, to screw with these scumbags. And it is funny though, because occasionally there's one that will kind of pull at your heartstrings, and they'll talk to the scammer and they're like, man, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but it's I really, it's like life or death for them. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, there's got to be other, this isn't your only choice. You don't go from, your options of being, this, or ripping everybody in the world off from their hard-earned money.
Yeah, it's kind of like some days, Brian, are lonely for me. Some days my only interactions are with homeless people that are asking for money on the South Side or something like that. But I was wondering, I was like, there's got to be a better way than standing at a corner asking for money, and there's got to be a better way than scamming people. Unless there's not, I don't know. Maybe I just don't come from that fabric at all. But it was not anything I've experienced before. Apparently, it's a thing when I did research on it. So if you're looking to pick up a good scam with a long play, this is going to get people. Nobody's going to be calling you anytime soon. That should have been the tip off, Brian. Nobody fucking needs a reference. You have Google. Who needs a fucking reference when you got the internet?
Well, I actually got called from a law firm of somebody who used to work here. Had put me down as a reference, and I got a call the other day. And so it still does happen. It's not as frequent as I think it used to be, but it still does occur. So I was skeptical but excited for you, because you were very excited when you called me. I mean, I could hear you had a bounce, a pep in your step, a little uplift in your voice, and you were
not?
excited.
How could you not,
I'm not blaming you at all.
Yeah.
I know anybody who and you didn't even fall victim to the scam. You were just going through the throes of it. But yeah, no, I don't blame you for feeling it. I feel bad for you that it was a scam.
Well, just I don't know if they can do anything with your phone number or address or a daughter's middle name or all the other information that they asked me about my reference that I was giving. So hopefully your bank accounts are still good. All right, that was heavy stuff here, or funny to some people. I want to talk about a few.
I don't know if that's heavy.
Yeah.
It's pretty. If you had gotten robbed and now you were actually talking to those homeless people to see which corner you could have, that would be a little bit heavier. But I think this is actually pretty funny, and it only took up like 20 minutes of your time. It's not like you had a lot invested in this.
I mean, I don't.
Was it a little more than 20 minutes?
I was up the whole night writing out answers about how I could, ideas, and how I could incorporate.
That's transferable to another interview.
Well, no, I had to go how my skills could transfer to their core values. Everybody's core values are different. I mean, they're basically the same. Don't be a fucking prick and all that stuff. But I was getting into their core values.
Yeah. At any point in time, did you ask them what type of content you would be producing?
It said like informational stuff. It had. I mean, I can send you the email.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Yeah, it's very very in depth as far as everything that was there. The job offer was very very in depth. So, all right. So a couple of things I want to touch on. Kanye West coming to Tampa, because that's a whole thing that's involving the Jewish community here. But I am watching the Knicks parade right now. Had the Knicks won the championship when we did this last week?
No.
Okay. How do you feel about some of the footage that's come out? I was a little disturbed about some of the Spurs fans that were getting beaten and made to take off their jerseys and stuff like that. Then I saw when the Knicks won, they're smashing cabs and buses and pulling bus drivers off. And I don't know, man. I don't know how you get caught up in that. I guess you're just maybe a kid or an idiot. Just what's your take of the whole, New York winning?
Yeah, I don't understand. So I'm reminded of when the Bucks won the Super Bowl. There were fans going out in streets spraying fire extinguishers, and I'm I like you got to feel like you're shooting something off. Like I don't have fireworks, but I have a fire extinguisher, so I just don't get that. Like, be happy, celebrate. I don't have to go outside. I don't need to go outside if my team wins a championship. There's no reason.
The energy's outside.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Look, I understand from watch parties and do it. Look, I haven't been a part. I don't know if this is a riot, a celebration. I haven't been a part of any of those at all. When the Lightning won, or you're at watch parties, like you're around people, the energy, you're celebrating, you're high fiving. But never did I want to destroy a city bus or a taxi or anything like that. I just don't understand. I don't know how often. I don't know how this happened, or this probably happened in other, and it wasn't being filmed. I mean, these were just only a few that we saw on the internet. I can only imagine how many more were happening. So I can never put it together. I don't think any sports fan can really explain why things get destroyed when your team does well.
Yeah, it's very odd to me. I think the social media aspect of it adds to it because everybody's got these cameras on them, and so you're drunk, you're celebrating, and you take it too far, and you're trying to put on a show. Is something
Hold on,
wrong?
Chalamet is in the parade and he has a fucking microphone right now. It's just, I don't even know what Chalamet could be yelling. He could be rapping, but they got Chalamet in the parade with the microphone. This guy's absolutely on. You're Chalamet out, aren't you?
It's just there's no point. It's not like he's been this lifelong suffering fan of the Knicks. I mean, he's like.
But they've got footage of him like when he was 12, waiting outside MSG for like some players that sucked autographs and all this stuff. So I mean, the thing with the Knicks is like they did with Taylor Swift. It's like, hey, we saw Taylor Swift courtside. How long have you been a fan? Are you really a fan? I mean, they really started going deep into the history of these celebrities to prove whether or not they actually like the Knicks.
And they should. I mean, those tickets, really, those courtside tickets, there are enough legitimate New York Knicks celebrity fans to get those tickets. They should not be going to Johnny Come Latelys that are just jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, if you suffered through the 90s like I did with the New York Knicks, this championship is for you. If you became a basketball fan in 2015, enjoy it, but you didn't live through the pain. You didn't live through the losing every single year to Jordan and Mourning and Reggie Miller, and then in the championship to Hakeem, like while OJ's interrupting the finals. Like it was, there's a lot of my childhood wrapped up in being a disappointed New York Knicks fan, and in a way, it prepared me for life because, I very quickly learned you ain't always going to win stuff. Being a kid from Florida that didn't have much of sports history and having family from New York and everything, and kind of being able to choose the teams that I wanted to cheer for and not having that much pressure or it being bestowed upon me. Like if you grow up in a household that's Steelers fans, it's hard to be anything but a Steelers fan, right? So I chose my teams, and I chose poorly. Like, I did become a Duke fan, which was that was a good choice. But every other sports franchise that I decided to root for, I was a Dolphins fan. Awful. Because the Bucks were just so piss poor. There was nothing to cheer for in the 80s and 90s for the Bucks.
No.
Nothing.
Only draft
So
picks.
I'm like, I'll go with the Dolphins. They're close, and they were on TV a lot on CBS. And because we'd get the Bucks games were all blacked out, they had those weird blackout rules, so we'd only get the Dolphins games. Really, I didn't get exposed to any Bucks home games at all growing up, zero. So I would only see them when they were on the road. So 8 games a year. The other, I pretty much got every Dolphins game locally here. So I was a Marino and Super Duper fan and all of them. But man, it was painful. So. In a way, I think it does prepare you for life and make you celebrate and enjoy the championships a little bit more than those that, glom on to these teams and then, and now it's so easy because people become fans of players, not teams. And there is a lot more movement and things like that. But, I was a a Heat fan, but now LeBron's with the Lakers. I'm a LeBron fan, so now I'm a Lakers fan. I get to enjoy that winning.
Yeah.
It.
Well,
I don't know.
there are those players that transcend. I think what team whether I think you're going to have fans that are of LeBron no matter what team he goes to, or Luca, or things like that. I think guys are just that big. But I understand being fans of just the player, because now we're so exposed to all these guys. I mean, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson have a podcast, and we know so much about Karl Anthony Towns and OG. There's just, I mean, I like a lot of these guys. Like, I think they're a very likable bunch. Like, I think they're all hardworking, for the most part. Mikal Bridges, pretty decent dudes. I know that you talked about it in a couple podcasts before that you were a Knicks fan growing up and all that stuff. Obviously just mentioned it, but did this championship mean anything to you, or are you kind of so far gone from the being a fan days?
I mean, I honestly, I've been following the Knicks and cheering for them lightly the last 3 seasons. When they made that run a couple years ago, they were very fun to watch in the playoffs. I loved they played more of a team style of basketball. I mean, granted, Jalen Brunson can take over a game, but they move the ball around a lot. They've got a lot of good ball movement. They got a lot of distribution. It's not a lot of one-on-one ISOs like a lot of the modern teams run. And it's not just guys chucking up threes the entire game. So their style of play is more in line with what I relate to as good basketball. The constant ISO game and step back 3 game and everything. It's just not. It's a shooting contest. It's not basketball. And so, and seeing the way they could lock down defensively, I mean, come back from 29 points down, the comeback they had earlier. I was definitely following them. Again, I'm not a fanatic about them anymore. People need to remember, that's where the term fan comes from, fanatic. You live and die with the team if you're truly a fan. There is emotional suffering. And I don't have that anymore with them. So I wouldn't consider myself a true fan of that team, but I enjoyed watching them play basketball. If they had lost, my life goes on. That's how I know I'm not a fan. A true fan lives and dies with the wins and losses. I feel that now for the Lightning. Like, the Lightning lose, and I don't want to see a highlight. I don't want to see coverage. I don't want to see a news story about it.
Your life doesn't stop. You press on. I mean, you get out of bed the next day.
It impacts me in a way that I don't like the way it impacts me. It shouldn't impact me that way. I'm a grown-ass man with other priorities, but it does, and that's how I know I'm still a fan. USF football, same thing. There was a time there where we were really bad, where it's almost like abuse, like you're an abused spouse and you just get used to the beatings. And you're like, at some point to survive, you just have to lean into it and be like, okay, I can deal with this. But now that they're decent again, the losses hurt. And that's how you know you're not just enjoying the team, you're a fan. Like, I would say for you, the White Sox, I would say you're not really a fan anymore, because the losing had become so commonplace for you. Now they're in first place, but the losing had become so commonplace, you become desensitized to it. It's hard to be fanatical about a team that's in the basement 4 years in a row. But now that they're winning, I'm wondering, will it emotionally impact you in any way?
I'm watching them more. I'm sitting down, at night, if there's not, now that there's not any playoffs going on, I'll sit down and watch. I mean, the White Sox have been playing the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Yankees the past few weeks, so those are good teams to sit down and watch, obviously. But with the way the White Sox have been playing, I've been watching. I mean, here's the thing, Brian. First of all, when they won the championship in '05, that World Series I know is so hard to win, and they had been in 100 years. That kind of fulfilled me for my life to see them do that. To be at that spot where I was 23 years old. I remember I was at a Kanye West concert with all of my best friends when the White Sox were in the ALCS that year. My brother's texting me updates and shit. Like, it was like I have a lot of fond memories from it. But when I spent so much time, before baseball had a pitch clock and shit, and you're spending 3.5 hours a day, a night watching the White Sox, and they're going 70 and whatever. Like, I had spent so much time watching them that I was like, I'm okay with doing other things. When they're bad, and everybody knows they're going to be bad. There's no sense in watching that. Like, I don't get any enjoyment out of it. I don't need to watch a bunch of guys develop. Like, now that they're good, I'm watching them, but I don't, I don't live and die whether they win or lose. There's just too many baseball games right now. So, I mean, I would say I'm that way with the Bears, and that might be it for right now.
Yeah, I think with the sports that are shorter, the individual wins and losses mean so much more, especially college football. I mean, USF loses one game, their season, any meaning or value to their season is over.
But you don't have expectations of them, going undefeated, do you?
In the regular season this year with their schedule, absolutely.
Oh,
and
no.
the resources they have vis-a-vis their competition, anything but an undefeated season is wholly unacceptable. Like, you look at what they spend as a university on their program versus their contemporaries, versus the teams that are in their conference, versus their non-conference opponents. There is 0% reason for them to be losing to any of those teams. So, yeah, it does bother me. And especially last year, the way they lost to Navy because the coach had gone during the bye week and interviewed with Auburn and knew he was taking that job and was checked out. Fuck you, Alex Golish, if you do watch the Blizzard.
Well, if he's watching it, he's paying $5 a month, so God bless you.
Yeah, I mean, you can still pay Seth the $5 a month, but Babyface doesn't want your dirty money, your dirty Auburn Tumors Corner $5 bill. You piece of shit.
It seemed the way that you were talking about the finances and stuff. Are you a donor to USF? Do you?
I used to be, and then the program went off the rails, and I'm not going to invest in a losing product where the investment that's being made by the university is not producing any results. So no, I don't throw money into something that's hemorrhaging money and not getting any results. I pulled back greatly. I'm less of a fan than I was back then. Certainly,
it sounds like you're pretty fanatical right now, dude. You got pretty angry if they're not able to run the table this year.
Well, I have expectations. They rope you in. They create these. I'm ready to be hurt again. I'll tell you that. But I am calloused and I am hardened, and that's something that changes as you go through life and you experience these losses and these disappointments, which are never ending in sports if you're a fan. So in a way, seeing the Patriots lose like they did in the playoffs, that's good. They had so much. Those fans had way too much. They don't deserve anymore. They're good for their life. Like, they don't deserve anymore. They had the Celtics winning. They had Boston, the Bruins winning. They had the Patriots winning. Go fuck yourselves. You have way too much happiness. Like, there's only so much of that to go around. You got to spread it out.
Yeah.
You got to spread it out. And fuck the Dodgers, too, speaking of which.
Okay, baby. I like it.
Yeah,
That was happy the Knicks got a championship,
Yeah, no, that's good. Good for them. Good for the Knicks. You mentioned Kanye, and you mentioned... having something to say about this. What in the world do you have to say about Kanye West concert?
Kanye's coming to town. One of my all-time favorites. With all the BS aside, just for a moment, because we're gonna get into it. I love Kanye. He's
massively anti-Semitic.
He apologized.
It was a stage in his life. Like, what was the apology?
It was a stage where I don't think he was. I don't think they had the medicine dialed in correctly, and I actually don't say that as a joke.
Oh no, he's CTE. He is that through the wire accident that he got into. He's got brain damage.
Okay, I never even thought about that.
That's my theory on him. He has severe frontal lobe damage. And he does not have good impulse control, and I don't think his mental processing is very good.
Well, talk about somebody that didn't really have anybody around him that would, talk him out of stuff. Kanye got very anti-Semitic for a while, and you don't have to have a brain injury to be anti-Semitic. I'll say that you could have a perfectly fine brain and hate Jewish people, but he was going off on all of the lawyers, all of the doctors, all of these people that have fucked him up. He was going off on his kids going to a Jewish school. He started selling swastika merchandise. He ended up making $2 million off of swastika. I think Adidas dropped him. He lost a lot of stuff.
A Blizzard shirt with a swastika, $2 million. You gonna turn that down?
No. He put it out there. Again, I don't know who's buying this shit, but he was selling swastika stuff. He did an interview with DJ Academics in a full KKK uniform. He was all in. who gives a fuck about me and what I felt at that time? I was slightly conflicted, but as I get further away from it, almost like being a sports fan, I can't really worry about, as much as I love Kanye's music, like I just can't sit here and worry about all of the shit that he's saying. So Kanye put out a new album recently, Bully, and before he did that, I think he took out an ad or something like that and apologized to the Jewish community and everything like that. Said he was going through some shit. Whatever. Brian, it was good enough for me. It was good as a longtime Kanye fan and actually a fan of his new album. It was fine. Like,
is Heil Hitler on that album? His song Heil Hitler, is that on there?
That's good. That's good research. He did Hi Hitler was not on that album at all. That didn't make
that album didn't sell too well, or
dude, the Heil. Okay, I don't want to. I could get on a whole thing about the Heil Hitler. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
It was a rough stage that he went through. You know, but a lot of youth go through the anti-Semitic stage in puberty and have their parents to guide them through it. And Kanye obviously went through his anti-Semitism late in life, and it's tough when you don't have that parental guidance. And you know, I'm glad somebody reached out to him. And so is he hobnobbing with Jewish people again? Is he like where does that all stand?
Well, he's still facing. You know, I know that there was a festival in, I believe, London or something that he was supposed to headline, and they wouldn't let him in. They wouldn't let him perform. They had to cancel the show.
Yeah, I heard that.
He offered to meet with all of the Jewish leaders and understand the hurt and everything like that. So he's going through that stuff. But listen, here's the whole thing. Kanye's coming to town. Tickets are like fucking $400,000. I'm not going. I'd love to go. Playing 2 nights at Raymond James Stadium.
Two nights? He's selling out Ray J 2 nights?
2 nights, dude. 2 nights. He's
and the Pussycat Dolls can't sell out Mid-Florida Credit Union?
Did you just compare the Pussycat Dolls to fucking Kanye?
I'd rather see the Pussycat Dolls for 2 hours on a stage than Kanye. Just if we're being real about this, not being a misogynist with this comment, but I certainly.
No, it's okay. I talked about MILFs last week, and now you're talking about the Pussycat Dolls.
I'm just saying, if I had to sit through a concert, I would choose the Pussycat Doll concert over Kanye.
Listen, I respect it. So here's an email I got from one of my rabbis.
Oh, like emailed you personally, or the congregation?
No, to the whole congregation.
Okay.
Because the subject line is call to action, Brian. Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay. So I got to open that up, make sure I'm not in trouble. So it says, as many of you know, Ye is scheduled to perform in Tampa. For those in the Jewish community, those who stand against hatred, this news is deeply troubling. Ye has made anti-Semitic statements, praised Adolf Hitler, promoted anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, and used his platform to spread messages that have caused pain and fear among Jewish people around the world. It says, below you will find contact information and a sample letter that can be sent to Tampa Sports Authority and other community leaders. We ask that you share your thoughts about how this impacts the Jewish community and if that was considered in their decision making. Encourage community leaders to publicly reject anti-Semitism and stand with those affected by hate. Meaningful change occurs when people refuse to remain silent. Email, call, send letters, conversations, blah 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 blah. I just want to say this as a Jewish person. This is ridiculous. I think this is a pub grab. I think that this is something that a rabbi sends out, the news sees it, they go, Kanye West, Jewish people, our town, that makes for a great story. Let's go interview this woman. I saw Rick Scott they brought him into this somehow, where they're acting like Kanye's coming to town to burn some crosses. Like, the guy apologized. I just don't, I feel like Jews get real hate and anti-Semitism out there, and it seems as though Kanye coming to town isn't that, and it just seems like it's a bad look to me to have a call to action about Kanye.
I could see that. I think you turn it into more of a positive thing than a negative thing. If you really want to effectuate change, you maybe say we're going to be hosting a celebration of Jewish culture and religion and whatever, and get some carnival together of your own.
What are we gonna do? Is have a mass dreidel spinning? What do you want to do here? Just throw a festival in the middle of summer?
Yeah, why not? It's too hot. Oy vey. Interestingly, though, I think you could use this. I would reply all to that email and say, if anybody wants me to dispose of their Kanye tickets, I'm going to do a burning of his tickets, and then you can get them, because somebody might have accidentally bought them, thinking, not knowing that he was so anti-Semitic.
That's true. That's true. They might not be on the internet all the time. How Hitler might have gone onto the radar. So
Yeah.
I'll say this,
I mean, it
Brian.
did not get heavy airplay. I will tell you
No,
that.
no, it did not. Only on Kick and Rumble.
White nationalist radio, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. There's actually a bus, and it says, I hate that I know this, but it's Andrew Tate, it's Aiden Ross, it's Clavicular, it's Sneeko, and they're all singing Heil Hitler.
Oh, the best people doing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing
So
people.
yeah. I think Kanye has tried to distance himself from all that stuff. But again, I had an email that was written out to this lady, to the rabbi, and then I had to delete it. I mean, I was like, this triggered me into being a full-on Karen, and luckily I stopped myself, and it was just something that I decided I would cover with you on the podcast.
Yeah, it's all. I'm always torn on this, and separating the art from the artist, right, and the person from their creation, in a way. Bad people have made good things in the course of time and history. I mean, I think Jerry Lee Lewis, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I believe he had incestuous underage sex with a cousin. If you didn't know
That changes
that.
everything.
Yeah.
Did Edgar Allan Poe, though, too? And everybody loves Edgar Allan Poe.
A lot of art comes from a very dark place. Michael
Yes.
Jackson is an example of that. Like, I'm a hypocrite. I don't shut off. I'm against. I'm gonna take a very controversial stance here, but I'm against pedophilia and hurting kids. I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I know, shocking. But I still, if PYT comes on, I'm still gonna be jamming to it. And if you want to rock with me all night, yeah, I'm gonna rock with you all night. It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
We draw the line at R. Kelly, though, don't we?
Well, his music's just not good. If his art was better, what? That Stuck in the Closet song? I mean, Ignition, I think, was his only decent song that he had. R. Kelly's a shit artist, let's be clear. If his music was better, he probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble. I mean, history has shown us that. If your art is good enough, you don't go to jail. And if your art is shit, we'll lock you up. Like, Diddy hadn't put out a banger for a while. That's why he got locked up. If Diddy had a #1 album in the last 7-8 years, maybe he wouldn't have gone to jail also. We don't lock up the celebrities.
You didn't like I Believe I Can Fly?
Okay, fine. I'll give you that one, too.
That
was from Space Jam, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition. Those are, but you got to have at least 4 songs to be considered a good artist. And I don't think R. Kelly's got I don't think he has the catalog to get that pass. Tiger Woods, again, I never cheered for Tiger Woods because he was a great father or a good driver, a good driver of the golf ball, not of his car. But, look, if the guy's out there golfing, doing what I celebrate him for, I'm going to cheer him on in a golf tournament. That's that's it. So I can see your position with Kanye. It is interesting, though. It's a little bit different because it's not like any of the people that I named attacked me personally and my identity and core beliefs.
Right.
Other than, not raping kids, whatever. But but nothing that, it's not like if I was a child sex victim, then I think Michael Jackson's, I would have a different opinion of Michael Jackson's allegations against him. Right?
I mean, but
so you're a Jewish person, and Kanye, this isn't an allegation. He wrote a song called Heil Hitler and talked about how Jews were terrible people. That's drastically different than, did Michael Jackson diddle some Hollywood kid and pay him $20 million not to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, I just when I would get being on the radio, when people would say anti-Semitic things at all, I never go, oh my gosh, they're doing this because of Kanye West. I just like, I feel like people's beliefs are already made up about how they feel about things, and I don't know. I would have to have not a lot going on in my life to be upset about Kanye West coming to town as a Jewish person. Like, I would have to have either everything's going great in my life and I got, and I don't have to worry about a thing and I can worry about that, but or I would have absolutely zero going on in my life and I'm a complete loser. But to get upset about this, it feels forced. It feels like you're trying to be controversial, trying to bring sympathy to yourself, and I just don't think it's needed.
Well, I think invite him to do an open invitation to him to come to your synagogue. Invite him in, show that he has changed, allow people to see that, because that's a stronger message than saying he was hateful, so we must always shun him. He did apologize. He said he was off his meds, and he was led astray. He specifically apologized to the African American community, which is weird when you're being anti-Semitic. But hey, he apologized to somebody. And
Well, everybody had kind of just been done with Kanye. He was kind of nuclear at that point, and he's made his way back, doing what he got popular for, making good music, not making bullshit gimmicky stuff like Heil Hitler.
Yeah, and so maybe the answer is you do reach out across the aisle there and bring him into your congregation and have him speak on how misguided he was in his hate, and that's a stronger message than protesting him after he apologized.
Dude, that's a great idea, dude. I'm going to tell the rabbi to invite him because he's going to be here for a couple days.
He's here.
Invite him.
He has no excuse other than he's anti-Semitic. So now you put him in a real pickle because he can either come to your synagogue and break matzah or whatever you call it, break bread. But he comes there and does it, or clearly he is still anti-Semitic. Ball's in your court, Kanye.
Kanye does a little 3-song set there. That could be exciting stuff. That's a good spin. That's what my therapist would do. Give me a different way to look at things.
Yeah.
All right. I know you don't have a mother-in-law story. I just want people to know I'm bringing it up, but you don't have a mother-in-law story. These stories are not forced. When they're there, they're there.
No, yeah, I've got nothing. It's always a good week for me when I don't have one of these stories. I know it's not as fun for the show, but we did have an Indian scam story of yours that I think filled that mother-in-law void for us all very nicely.
Well, what do you have? I know you're not going to be doing the Blizzard next week. Where are you off to?
So I'm up to Massachusetts. And going to compete in my friend's beer Olympics that they run. So we've won 3 out of the 4 years coming from Florida. It's usually about anywhere from 12 to 18 couples competing.
So it's you and another dude. That's the couple.
No, my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we compete in flip cup, beer pong, and cornhole. We've never lost a flip cup game. We're that good. We would have won all 4 years we were there, except the first year we were there, our daughter, we brought her with us, and she was like 1.5, and she was having a meltdown, and we had to go try and console her because she had never been with strangers like watching her, and it wasn't working out, and so they had to move on without us. We won the Flip Cup event but they had to move on, so we ended up having to forfeit our other events.
Oh boy!
And that cost us the gold. We ended up still finishing in the top 3 because we won an event. But that was a tough loss to swallow. I still to this day don't believe that those. So my friend keeps a power rankings based upon scores in the events and things like that. He keeps a very detailed spreadsheet. This is his one thing a year that he absolutely loves. His name's
This
Trey.
guy seems just like you, by the way. I can see why you guys are friends.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor too, like me, and I like to think that I do. And so I want him to remove those 2, like just not count them against us in some way. But he, as the commissioner, he refuses to do it. So we're still in the first overall place of the all-time power rankings. But our grip is tenuous because of a controversy, quite honestly.
So you fly up to Massachusetts every year for this?
We've flown up most years. Yeah, there's been years we haven't been able to make it, but yeah, we fly up most years for it.
And you're looking to win.
Always. We represent Germany because we didn't get to go to the very first Beer Olympics. It was
Das Boot?
Yeah, no. So all the countries that we would want to be and get good costumes for were taken. So we went with Germany. We wear a lot of Kanye gear. No, yeah, we wear lederhosen. I mean, no swastikas involved. No little mustaches under our noses or anything like that.
Wait, you wear a little German outfit?
Well, now we've gone to more comfortable things than the lederhosen costumes. We just wear German flag stuff, and we have matching. We have really cool looking German shoes, German flag shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get you a photo if I'm feeling generous with the content for you.
Wow. Okay. Geez, I think our rabbi needs to talk to you next. I had no idea that you were all so excited
You
to.
drive a Volkswagen, shut up, bitch.
Hey, screw you, dude. Okay. They've apologized also.
And
Um,
I'm not apologizing for representing Germany in a beer drinking contest. I mean, what other country would you want to be? I couldn't believe Germany was available, quite honestly, when we came to the Beer Olympics. I'm
I'd
like,
like to be a country with some flavor, like Spain or somewhere, Brazil or something.
flavor, suck on this schnitzel, bitch.
Okay, all right. That's don't tempt me at all. I wanted to talk to you about the Rays real quick. We also have Blizzard Breaks, guys. BlizzardBreaks.com. We have a football break that's up. We have 4 divisions that are left for that. That's top signature. And then we did a baseball break the other day with Donruss that I thought went really
We
well.
got to get it reposted, and we got to repost the football break. I've been lazy on that, and I've got to do some accounting on that, and so I do apologize. I'll do that today before I leave for the 8 days that I'll be up north. But I'm most excited for the weather. High of 78, low of 60. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, my friend. It's going to be.
It's pretty brutal here, isn't it?
It is. So I went outside this morning. It was the most disgusting morning. 5 a.m. I went outside, and it was, I kid you not, 84 degrees at 5 a.m., but it felt like 94 degrees. I've never experienced going outside. I wanted to go right back in. I was like, I'm not going out in this. Like this, it only portends to what a terrible, hellacious day it's going to be. The heat index is predicted to reach 110 degrees today. That's insane. It's only June 18th, dude.
I know. It feels like it got really, really hot, really, really fast and early this year. So now Sammy's going to Tampa Bay Rowdies camp. So they're not out playing soccer all day. They obviously go inside. They're not just, trying to have these kids pass out and everything. But I want her to be hydrated like when I pick her up, and I also want her. She complains, every camp we've ever sent her to, she's complained about. She doesn't want to go. It's boring. Pick her up early. And dropped her off at camp this week, and she actually had fun. I'm like, Brian, I'll tell you, like, as a dad, I'll watch Sam, and she'll be bored sometimes, and I really struggle with it. I'm like, there's so many other different things you can do. Why are you bored? Why, how does it get to this point? And now that I see that she is into something and having a good time, and she even came, she's like, I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends, and she still had a good time. So to keep the good vibes, I've been bringing her a little frozen treat each day that I picked her up this week. So I did this thing called a Philadelphia water ice, which is like, Italian ice or something. I did those.
Philadelphia water ice. Is the water from Philadelphia?
And it's this place called Violet Stone. It's a Portnoy went to here in St. Pete when he was
I remember that.
Yeah, so it's a Philly place, and it's called Philadelphia Water Ice.
Werder. Oh yeah, I've got a Philly friend. It's Werder, like Ken Werder, the ESPN guy.
Ed Werder.
Yeah. Werder.
It's actually the waitress told us how to. She's like, say water. She was telling us how to say it.
Oh, it's so annoying.
I got her a Philadelphia water ice. Then yesterday I got her some sort of frozen lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Slurpees on the top of my mind. I'm kind of running out of ideas for frozen treats every single day. So I just wanted to talk to you. Anything that you give your daughter, or anything from your childhood that I can't like bring a popsicle from the house or something like that. That's going to melt by the time I get there. Although
not if you bring a little cooler bag, dude.
Yeah,
Come on, they have inventions that will stop melting.
I don't need to bring any little frozen ice packs. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to go pick something up at a store on the way. That's it. I'm buying her a little special treat. That's it. Anything on your mind at all?
First of all, yes, there is something on my mind. Save money and buy from the grocery store. For the cost of one treat, you could get a 4-pack of what you're giving her. I mean, this is insanity that you're going and spending retail prices for one single treat for one day. Bring a little cooler bag with you. It's no big deal. She ain't going to like it any less. Don't tell her the ice pops are in the freezer. Put them up somewhere high where she can't get them. Hide them somewhere. Make it seem special. But absolutely not stopping every day to get a treat. One day I stopped when we picked up my daughter from camp. She invited her friend to come home with us to go swimming. And I stopped at Dunkin' and allowed them to split a Dunkin' lemonade and get a donut each. And that's it, though. That's the extent of it. only because I don't have donuts lying around my house. But if it's an ice pop, we got Johnny Pops in the freezer, honey. You can have one when we get home. You
Okay,
know. But I
Johnny
understand you
Pop.
trying to make it a positive experience for Sammy. I think she's at an age now where she'll be able to have more, more fun. The other thing that you said that was interesting, which is her getting bored. They've actually did a study. If you just allow a child to sit there bored for 15 minutes, they will almost without fail begin to find something to keep themselves occupied and have fun with. And it's allowing them to be bored is the greatest thing you can do. Don't try to intervene on that. When she says I'm bored, just say figure it out. And no electron. Don't let them just go to the Bibby and the Whoopie or whatever in the iPad or play. No electronics. Figure it out, and they will every single time, and they will have so much fun doing whatever they're doing because it's taking them out of that place of boredom. They're feeling that low of lack of stimulation and then getting that high again of being stimulated. So
That's
little
good.
child psychology advice for you.
That's good. Okay, and save some money. Buy some fucking Johnny Pops.
Yeah, just go to the grocery store and bring it. Like get a variety pack or whatever the bullshit is, so
Well,
she's not getting.
She loves the water ice. Like it's a thing to go and get it and all that.
I
so.
get that. Do that one day. The other days, it's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Hey, listen, one paid membership a month can buy my daughter a Philadelphia water ice. Okay, just one subscription a month here on the Substack
For
to buy
just
a
one
water
subscription a month, you can feed young Sammy a Philadelphia water ice.
That's it. You can make her happy after a hard day of camp. All right, quickly, we're going to talk about the Rays. We did touch on baseball. Two things I want to ask you. Maybe I have more. We do have a baseball break that's posted on blizzardbreaks.com. That's important.
It's not posted yet. Oh, I did repost that one. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we've sold a couple teams already.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, all right. Couple things about the Rays. One, I want to know, because I know you started selling a lot of your cards. Did you keep your Junior Caminero cards? And my other thing is, if you did, are you happy with how he's playing? And my other question is, why doesn't Chandler Simpson, the fastest guy in baseball, why doesn't he lead the league in stolen bases? Why does Bobby Witt have more? I just started paying attention to it yesterday when they were watching the Dodgers. Now I'll let you take the floor.
So yeah, a few things with that. Number one, and I don't know that this would apply to Bobby Witt as much, but with Chandler Simpson, I think they are expecting it so much with him, and they do a lot of pitch outs, and they're not as afraid of the Rays lineup as they would be other teams. So he doesn't have that protection of great hitters that will make them pay for wasting a pitch. So I think they can strategically throw a lot more high heat to put the catcher in a better position to throw him out. He also just may not be that great. Great at not telling when he's going. They may get a feel for it. He may be too predictable in his patterns. I haven't really researched it, but he should be stealing more bases. And he's been caught more than he should. I think like a third of the time almost. As for Junior Caminero, I am slightly disappointed in his performance. I mean, he's at 15 home runs. It's not tragic. He's still on pace for 30-plus home runs this year. Again, though, I think it's a lack of threat in that lineup, and this is going to be a problem for him, is you need two sluggers in a lineup to really be a good team in baseball. And they don't have that second guy that you're afraid to pitch to with a runner on. So
should they get rid of Yandy and get a real slugger?
Yandy could be a real slugger. He has the power. He just his role on this team. This team isn't built for the slugging, and I don't know that in the Rays case that one more slugger would make a tremendous difference for them. Yandy and what he does is very important, and they're a team about pressure and getting on base and scoring runs. So, as far as Junior, I still have a few of his cards. I kept the most expensive one I had, which is a out of 99 Bowman First Chrome Auto. And I've got a few other ones that I paid too much for that I do have a problem selling cards for a loss. I'm like, well, I'll hold on to him. Maybe the guy will bounce back, which is totally the wrong approach to take. Like J.J. McCarthy, I've got some J.J. McCarthy stuff. I'm like, Brian, you really need to let it go. I'm having this internal conversation with myself, and I'm like, yeah, but what if Kyler Murray isn't that good? Or what if Kyler Murray gets hurt and then J.J. McCarthy comes out and lights it up and his stuff shoots back up and then I can sell it right away? So I've got that. and with Junior, I've got enough of his stuff still that I'm still invested in him. And then the Rays as a whole, it's disappointing. Getting swept by the Dodgers is disappointing. It's not unexpected, but it hurts. It doesn't hurt. It's not like I forget. I worded it differently another time, but it's it is what it is. It sucks. I hope that they come home and turn it around. I think they have a favorable schedule coming up, but yeah, I'm pretty much a Rays fanatic as well. But the baseball season's too long, like you said earlier, to live and die with. So that's kind of my Rays update there.
I think have you been to any games this year?
I went to opening day, and I went
right.
to one other one, and I think I'm going to go on Sunday the 28th when we get back from our Connecticut trip. Ari is a part of the Rays Kids Club, and they're doing a Raymond birthday celebration game, and so we can get tickets up to like 50% off on the sideline. So for $30, we can get good, decent seats, or $18 to sit in the outfield, which is pretty cheap. And then they're doing an on-field birthday party for Raymond.
After?
No, before the game.
Oh.
Yeah, because the kids get to run the bases on Sunday after. So
Has she done that before?
we did it when I took her up to DC last year. We watched the Rays versus the Nationals in DC,
yeah.
and we stayed and waited the hour to do it there. She had never done it before. And then when we went to a game this season, we brought her friend Rory with us, and they saw the line, and they're like, yeah, we're good. So I'm like, those are my kids right there.
There you go.
They're like,
there
yeah, no, we're good. We can go home. We want to go swimming. So that the power of the pool was better than running the bases. I don't know what it'll be if I take her on the 28th, but we'll see. I'll let you know.
Fuck the bases, dude. Take her to a little league field. It's all the same. So yeah, just save the time. You're efficient with that kind of stuff. Well, listen, man, have a great time during the Beer Olympics. I hope Germany takes home the gold or whatever the prize is. I hope that everything goes well, and looking forward to your return in another episode of the Blizzard. And I'll actually be seeing you in about 20 minutes as I head over to your office to pick up the cards from our last couple breaks.
Yeah, everybody, please get in on our breaks. We're still here. We haven't quit, and we Seth especially can use your support on this. So even if you don't collect cards, it's fun to get in on a break. It's a scratch off ticket. We had a guy who backed out of a break. This is a great story. This is a great lesson for all of you out there. The break took a little longer to fill. I don't know if all of you are aware, but we had a week of hate that was thrown at us, and so the break took longer to fill than we wanted, and he was complaining about that and said we needed to get our stuff together. And I'm like, we're doing what we always did. We're not doing anything different.
Yeah.
We did have to go dark for a couple of days because of the amount of hate we were getting. But once we came back, it's been a lull. And so he decided to help us out by asking for a refund. And so great support. But then we hit an out of 25 Paul Skeens from his spot that I refunded, and an out of 10 Paul Konerko Chicago White Sox autograph. And that was just so sweet, getting to message him afterwards and be like, hey, sorry you backed out. Here's what you missed out on. That Skeens card alone, so it was a $55 spot he had. The Skeens card alone was a $60 card. And then the Konerko on top of it, and then Bubba Chandler's, we had them. We had, I think, another numbered card. So, he got his comeuppance on that, which I'm glad to see. You're not going to support us or stand by us in our dark time. If you don't like us at our worst, you don't deserve us at our best.
Yeah, that's we're. I mean, here's the thing, dude. We're not these people know what we are. You get into the break, like it happens when it happens. We try to sell them out as much as we can. We can't force people to buy shit. We can't sit around on TikTok all day and try to spread the word about Blizzard breaks. Although it might be something I do here if I don't find a real job soon enough. But I mean, we're not able to do all these things that other breakers are, that you sit there and fill their breaks up. And I understand if you want to get that immediate gratification, like there's things that happen immediately, but we're just more takes a few days. We're just a smaller group, and what, dude, 99% of the people know that. So, I mean,
we've got some of the best customers.
Yeah.
JVH, Scott Velasco, Seth Willie. I'm trying to think of some, Herman Seidel. I mean, we got some guys that are just amazing. Chad Zimmerman, the Zim.
Yep.
Ryan MSBC or whatever his name, MSNBC.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn.
MBSC. And John. LaFrance is another one. So we've got this core group, and I apologize if I didn't name anybody that is one of those cores. But we've got a bunch of guys. Jason Lee was one at one point, and so they come and go. Uncle Rucky for a while there, and he's dealing with light stuff, and we get that. We're never bitter. Like, if somebody doesn't buy into a break, we're not mad about it. I just don't want to get crap when we're doing everything the same as we always did, and they're just taking a little bit longer to sell, either because the economy's crappy, or we had to shut it down for a week, or maybe it's not the product that we made a bad call on the product, and we overestimated the level of interest there would be in it. We're always very careful and thoughtful in the way we curate the breaks and the way we try to structure the breaks, and I think that our pricing is extremely fair on the breaks. A lot of times when we get cards at any sort of discount versus what they're selling for, we don't keep the prices jacked up at the then selling rate. For instance, the Donruss baseball, I think we paid right around $200 a box for those, and they immediately shot up to like $250, $275 a box. But we didn't price that price increase into our break, which we could do easily. We kept, this is what we paid for it. We're not looking to, our profit margins stay pretty consistent. And so, we try to be fair. I don't know what else to tell these guys. If you're not happy with it, you don't have to do it. It ain't your cup of tea. You don't have to trash us on our page, though. Like making a message telling us to get our shit together. Like we're not. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand that.
That's just an attention thing, man. Those are just those.
Well, it'll get your comment hidden or deleted, and whatever. I mean, we don't suffer fools here at Blizzard Breaks. We just don't. If you're not happy, fine. We'll refund you your money. We'll move you on your way. Go to another break. If we're not your cup of tea, that's fine by us. We're not. We're very kind. We're generous to our buyers. I don't know of many breakers that supplement the way that we do when somebody doesn't hit on something. When you're spending money, it's a gamble, man. I saw a guy in a break. I was in a break the other night, and the guy did bad, and he was complaining. And the breaker, extraordinarily, the guy did invest a lot of money and lose. There was two guys that did bad in the break that had spent a lot of money. He was going to take a card, a repack card that was valued. The box is valued at like $400. You can get anywhere from a $100 to like $1,000 card in it. And randomly give it away to one of the two of them. That's what he could do. And the guy was complaining about what he was, like, can't you do two? And I'm like, dude, I literally couldn't help myself. I try not to chime in. I was like, so I just said, the other night I was at the casino and I lost really bad, and the dealer was offering me a chance to win half of my money back, and I started to complain to him about it. I'm like, that's exactly what you're doing here, dude. Like, it's insanity. It's insanity.
Yeah, for people that Brian just painted it perfectly. For people that don't, it's you're gambling, and we try to make sure that you walk away with something. Most gambling is you walk away with nothing if you lose. So again, this was just one guy, but it's the story of somebody that didn't want to be patient, wanted to tell us how they felt, even though we don't care. We give you your money back, and then we don't ever want to see you again.
Well, maybe no, but if you want to tell me, maybe message me personally. And say, or our page personally, and say, hey guys, this I thought this break would have gone off by now. I understand you may be taking a while to fill it. Can I get my money back? Don't put us on blast on an unrelated post. It wasn't like related even to the break that we were trying to sell. It was just putting us on blast for the sport of it. Like, that's not cool. Like, you don't need to do that. We didn't do anything wrong, is my point. It's not like we're out, we're doing anything to hurt you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And if we did, go to the Better Business Bureau, okay? Wherever that is, and fucking tell them and see if they've heard of us and let us know, okay?
Right along with Kentucky River Hospital.
All right, okay. All right, I got to go. I got to go head over to Brian's and then pick my daughter up from camp with a Johnny Pop. And I appreciate the Blizzard. Hopefully we get a picture of Brian and his lederhosens. And
no lederhosen, just German flags.
Just German flags.
No swastikas.
And look, we didn't even get to talk about Messi, but we'll talk about the World Cup when you get back.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, dude.
See ya.